Welcome back, everybody. Well, with this program, we certainly eat a lot of salads, especially during the day for lunch. Occasionally throw maybe two salads in a week during dinner time. So obviously we want to dress that up. So we're talking about salad dressings today, vinaigrettes, Caesar, how to make them, how to make some variations in salad dressings. So once again, you're not missing out on things while you're doing this Whole30 program if you choose to go down that road, or if you just want a little healthy alternative to the store-bought stuff. These are great options. I'll also be covering kind of what we do when we're not on the Whole30. Still making these dressings, but gives you a little bit more leeway as far as adding things in that that you may want to add in that may not be problematic for you. Once again, once the Whole30 is over, you kind of figure out what kind of foods you have problems with, and you generally want to avoid those food groups. But for us, there's some adjustments that we've made over the year with certain dairy products, things like that. So I'll show you what we do. Once again, you have to kind of figure that out for yourself once you do the Whole30 program. I'm going to start with the vinaigrette here. So first thing, grab yourself a jar with a tight-fitting lid. You know, it doesn't have to be something like this, but like an old jam jar or something like that. But I found this knocking around in our pantry this year, so this has become our de facto vinaigrette jar. So start off with that. We're going to throw in some vinegar. Okay, you can use a number of different vinegars. The only ones you want to avoid are anything derived from grains. So, malt vinegar, rice vinegar, things like that, you want to kind of avoid on the Whole30. Later on after the Whole30, you can maybe reintroduce those if you don't have any issues with grain-based foods. So, I've got just some red wine vinegar, nice and simple, available everywhere. The ratio that I use for making vinaigrettes is about a 1-to-1 ratio of vinegar and oil. Okay, so got the vinegar in there. Now, a little tip here is if you wanted to make this a herb dressing, you can buy these mixed herbs and everything. I get them from a herb shop near us. Italian herbs, herb de Provence, something a little bit different just to dress it up a little bit. If you heat up the oil a little, it doesn't have to be hot, super hot or anything like that, just warm. So you heat up the oil a little bit, throw the herbs in there. Those herbs will liven up. They'll actually steep in the oil. And then you add that oil with the herbs in it to the dressing, just to liven that oil up a little bit. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of mustard in here, and not much, not that much. Okay, what the mustard does is acts as an emulsifier. Okay, so when we mix this up, that oil and vinegar are going to mix and blend a lot easier than just straight if we did it without that mustard in there. So that's what the mustard's in there for. Okay, it has a job. And as I said, a tight-fitting lid. And the reason being is we want to shake that up. Okay, so that dressing's pretty much ready to go. Okay, we're back. So the next dressing we're going to make is a Caesar dressing. Now, what you're seeing here is a lot of things that are in traditional Caesar dressing, and after the Whole30, once you've discovered what foods, once again, you're sensitive to and things you want to stay away from, there may be things here that you can add back in, like Worcestershire sauce. As I said in previous posts, a couple members of our family are sensitive to cow's milk, so we actually use a Pecorino Romano cheese, which is actually a sheep's milk cheese instead of traditional Parmesan. Okay, so those things can go in maybe after the Whole30, when you're looking to do a traditional Caesar dressing. But for the meantime, those two puppies are out. I'm going to take some cashews, chop those up, throw those in. That's just going to give it a bit more texture. You know, people use that a little bit of a texture with Caesar dressing. So I'm going to chop those up really fine and throw those in there, and that dressing's pretty much almost done. Okay, so we got the Caesar dressing made. I have the leftover nuts there. That's going to act as a topping for the Caesar salad when we have that later on this week with the chicken from Sunday night's dinner. So Caesar dressing, we have the vinaigrette that I made, and we actually have this in the fridge. This is actually a ranch dressing that Kelly made a few days ago. Essentially the same base components as the Caesar dressing: avocado, mayonnaise, spices like paprika, garlic powder, and then mixing in some fresh dill and parsley, adding a little bit of vinegar in there to bump up the acidity, salt and pepper to taste. But tons of recipes out there with the ranch dressing. But yeah, this is kind of the staple dressings that we use at our house during our Whole30 program, and even throughout the year. We don't really buy dressings anymore. We make them all ourselves, and they're better for you. They taste better. You can make them to how you want. So just easier all around, quite frankly.